Hi, this is Mike Essen, South Florida's conservative voice. I am officially endorsing for Florida's congressional district, seat 9, my friend Scotty Moore. Scotty, welcome to the Mike Essen Show.
Amazing opportunity for me to be here. Thank you so much for the privilege. I'm honored. Thank you.
Thank you so much. My pleasure, Scotty. Thank you so much. Tell us your qualifications to be a congressman, please.
Yeah, well, first of all, again, thank you for being here, allowing me to be here and address all of your listeners nationwide, perhaps even worldwide. So to everyone who is listening, I hope you're doing well and God bless you. My name is Scotty Moore, Scotty with a Y, and I'm running for U.S. Congress for Florida's 9th congressional district. I'm running against a guy named Democrat Darren Soto, and he votes 100% of the time with Nancy Pelosi. And look at what that's gotten us. And so the reason why I'm running is because I am looking at my two daughters, who are Isabella's 14 and Sophia's 11, and I'm deeply concerned with their future. And not only that, but what about my unborn grandkids someday and then my great-grandkids? What about your kids, grandkids, and great-grandkids? You know, America's future is on the line. It says I'm a deep man of faith. My wife and I have been married for 19 years. She's a Brazilian. And 16 years ago, she became a U.S. citizen legally, by the way. And so I've been through that process. Not only have I been through that process of legal immigration and navigating that, but I've also lived overseas. And so I lived in Brazil, lived and worked in Brazil for more than 6 years. Então, eu falo português, eu aprendi a falar português nas ruas do Brasil. And so I learned to speak Portuguese on the streets of Brazil. My wife and I worked for a Christian nonprofit called Campus Crusade for Christ. And we would teach, train, equip, and help community leaders and people to know the person of Jesus Christ, but we'd also teach leadership development, and we would serve the communities we lived in. And so that means in Brazil, but also here in the Orlando, Florida area. We've been here for quite a while, for more than a decade, since 2007. And so I believe that serving the community and reaching out and helping, my faith is very much something that informs and helps direct and guide me. I believe that we've lost the moral fabric of our nation, and we need to retake that. And when you're talking about qualifications, you know, the founders, I really believe, wanted people to represent in the government that were everyday people. That's why they say we the people. And we've lost touch of that. Unfortunately, many people in our government have become the elites. And I got to tell you firsthand, for someone who worked for over 20 years raising my own funds as a missionary, you definitely don't do it for the power, prestige, influence, or even the money. I guarantee you don't do it for the money. You do it for the mission, and you do it to help people. And so as I step into this arena of running for U.S. Congress, I do not step into it from a position of wealth or power or prestige. I don't have a huge namesake that I can carry out like Arnold Schwarzenegger or even George Bush or Matthew McConaughey. You know, someone can step in and have some name recognition. Dr. Oz, I don't have that. What I do have is I am an everyday American citizen who cares deeply about our country. I care deeply about families, about marriages, about protecting our kids and the indoctrination of our kids. I care about our economy and the fact that the power of the dollar is going down and our retirements are going down while the cost of goods, everything across, are going up. And so I know what it's like to go to the grocery store and try to do some shopping and buy things and see the cost of goods go up, up, up. I've been driving all over my district, and I see the cost of gasoline go up, 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 and how that's affecting all of us here. And so the qualifications, it's very, very simple. I'm an everyday American citizen who has lived this life, who has fought and tried to protect our kids, families, marriages, knows what it's like to raise funds, work in a Christian nonprofit, serve the community and help out. And I believe that really matters, so that when you all send me to Washington, D.C., and I say you all because even if you can't vote for me, if you're listening to me across the nation and you're not in Florida's 9th congressional district, or maybe you're even around the world, you absolutely can still get involved and help support us. You can spread the message, and you can also donate at ScottyMooreForCongress.com, because that is the fuel that gets our message out there. And we're fighting against a dark money machine that keeps pumping money into this race. So the choice could not be more clear between me and my opponent. And so, yeah, those are my qualifications. Leadership development. I'm qualified. I'm a leadership coach. I've got a lot of different qualifications. You can go on to ScottyMoreForCongress.com and on my social media, Scotty More for Congress, and see more about that. You're going to see videos. I'm doing videos every day, and so you can see the day in the life of the candidate and who I am, what I believe, why I'm running, why it matters. And so those are all good reasons. In fact, we've been helping serve the community and the hurricane victims within our area right now. Darren Soto, I call him no-show Soto because he's not showing up in the community. He's gotten relaxed, and he's entitled, and he's not doing the work of a public servant. That's not what we need. We need change. That's why I'm running.
If you want to talk to Scotty Moore, the number is 619-924-9749. Scotty, tell us the key differences between you and incumbent Darren Soto.
Yeah, where do we start? First of all, let's just kind of go with his voting record. Darren Soto votes 100% of the time with Nancy Pelosi, and look at what that's gotten us. And there is no difference there. He is a Pelosi puppet. He is following and towing the line and hoping to get money from the party so that he can continue to get elected and do their bidding. And there are two different Americas happening right here, two different directions, and we need to choose. I really believe that we're in a critical moment in our nation's history, and it's because we're experiencing a leadership crisis. Leadership matters. For those of you who are listening, and even you might understand this, the fact that nations rise and fall due to leadership, businesses rise and fall due to leadership, families and communities rise and fall due to leadership. Governments rise and fall due to leadership. Consider Venezuela and where Venezuela was at 20 years ago. They were a rich and thriving nation, and look at where they're at now. I have many friends here in the Central Florida area who are Venezuelans who fled that area because it was so bad. And it's really important to note that the government officials who made those decisions are not suffering. It's the people who suffer. It's a leadership crisis. But even consider, for those of us who live in the Florida area, or maybe those of us who are looking at Florida from afar, 4 years ago there was a critical election, and Governor DeSantis almost lost. He won by 30,000 votes. But consider the fact, what if he had lost? What if he had Andrew Gillum? Where would Florida be? We would be locked down, vaccine mandates. Remember what shutting down the businesses. What about our kids and the vaccines with our school? What about distance learning and pushing that? What about the fact that so many different states were destroyed financially? But look at, instead, we have Governor DeSantis, and now he's being called America's governor. His leadership has proven the difference. We have a record $22 billion surplus. We've led well. Freedom is reigning here in Florida, and that's because of leadership. And so if you look at the Democrat Party, from Biden to Pelosi to even Soto, there is a leadership void, and it's a leadership crisis right now. That, I would say, is the main thing. But if you want to get into the nitty-gritty, you can talk about how Darren Soto supports the use of taxpayer money to pay for gender reassignment surgeries. And, by the way, taking away parents' rights and not speaking into that. The DOJ called parents domestic terrorists for trying to get involved in what's happening with their kids' schooling and the pornographic books that are being in there. What about the indoctrination of our kids? Absolutely supports that. What about stimulus checks going to criminals and illegal immigrants? Supports that. Taxpayers' funding of abortions up until birth. You want to call something radical. What about the whole radical left Democrat Party, including my opponent, Soto, voting to kill babies minutes before they're born? That's extreme. That is murder, and that is just, let's call it, it's evil. Those are some of the difference. What about taxpayer salaries for people who choose not to work? So you can choose not to work, and we'll still pay you. What about federal agencies requiring parents to include LGBTQ profiles for their children? The choices could not be more clear. Freedom is on the ballot. Your constitutional freedoms are on the ballot. We got a rogue, out-of-control government, an administrative state. You've got the IRS hiring 87,000 new agents to come after you, the small business owners, the landscaping people, the people who have had to develop a side hustle business because of the economy and the shambles we're in, the high gas prices affecting all of us. We're trying to provide for our families, yet the IRS is out of control. What about the CDC, NIH, out of control, these administrative unelected bureaucrats pushing forward? What about the DOJ labeling parents domestic terrorists? So we have got to rein our federal government in, and that's one of the jobs of Congress is oversight. Our government is out of control, and we need checks and balances to be employed to help out. These are just a few of the many reasons why I believe Darren Soto is not qualified. He is not showing up. He is not leading well. That includes the whole party, and we need change. We must flip this seat from blue to red. We need to take back the House, and when we do that, the first vote that I'm going to take on the floor of the House of Representatives is to fire Nancy Pelosi so that we can begin the hard work to save America. That's what we're doing, and I need your help to do that.
Scotty, what are your key issues? You all have a platform. What are the key issues in your 2022 congressional campaign?
Yeah, thank you. The key issues listen, the Democrat Party are trying to distract you with other talking points. And the reason why they're doing that, and in the Ukraine war and everything, it's because they cannot defend, nor are they talking about what Americans need to be and want to be talking about, which is the economy. The economy is hurting us. The economy is hurting us because of the results of what this administration and this leadership has done, the decisions they've made. What about gas prices are out of control? We used to be energy independent. We are no longer, and we're trying to buy gas from Saudi Arabia and other rogue states. That's very dangerous. Venezuela, they're in talks trying to figure things out. We have a weak leadership, and so that is really horrible, and we need to become energy independent again, and we need to lower the gas prices because it's affecting us all. It's affecting our families. It's affecting how we spend our money. By the way, it's affecting crime. Crime is out of control. When the economy's poor, guess what happens? Crime is on the rise. Instead of defunding the police, we need to be defending and helping support our police and law enforcement. And so these are just a few things: protecting our kids, making sure they're not indoctrinated, protecting America and our freedoms and our constitutional rights. These are essential for our way of life. And make no mistake about it, my friends, the way of our direction of life and our America is on the ballot this November 8th. We need to choose which direction we're going to head. Are we going to continue to head towards a destruction of Venezuela-type ramifications, or are we going to turn about face and bring in strong leadership like we saw here in Florida with Governor DeSantis and become energy independent, secure our borders, and have strong leadership, get our fiscal house in order, protect our kids, protect entrepreneurship? The choice could not be more clear, my friends. And these are the things that everyday Americans, the people in my district, District 9, Orange County, Osceola County, and part of Polk County, these are the things that my constituents really care about and that we're talking about all the time.
Scotty, thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you more for your patriotism and conservatism. Before I ask you about the website again of your congressional campaign or how people can get involved, anything you want to cover that we haven't talked about?
Well, I appreciate the opportunity. I really believe that getting involved right now and mobilizing people, we talk a lot about the red wave, and I really believe people are fired up, but we need to tell your neighbors. We need to have the hard conversation. The way I share it, and I really believe this, is that there right now is not a peacetime as far as politics goes. You know, many conservatives, myself included, for the longest time, wanted to just sit back and raise our family and do our job and carry about life and just move forward. The problem is there is an evil agenda being pushed and taken away, and the very fabric and idea of America is at risk right now. Not only that, but our kids and our future grandkids and great-grandkids. We are at risk right now to not pass on an America better than we received it, and that is tragic. Legacy matters. And so please get out the vote, mobilize people, help them understand what is on the ballot. It's the economy, it's gas prices, it's protecting our kids and protecting families and protecting marriages, and the very entrepreneurship ideas and moving forward that made us great, you know, making sure we're energy independent and not depending on other nations. Have that conversation, because if we are not, we are losing ground. We need to take ground back and put our hand on the table, slam it there and say, no more. We will not allow you to keep going after our kids, after our way of life, after our businesses, and destroy the very fabric of America. So please have those conversations. Get out the vote November 8th. We have 29 more days today, and so I need your help. Will you please help me?
Scotty, thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm proud to endorse you. What's your website where people can get active or see anything about your campaign?
Yes, thank you for asking. Again, it's ScottyMooreForCongress.com. Scotty with a Y, Moore, for Congress.com. And of course, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You'll see a ton of videos. I'm doing videos all the time. The day in the life of, that's Scotty Moore for Congress. Please share, like, pass it on. And I would be remiss to not mention that you guys can also donate. Again, $5 all the way up to the max of $2,900. Donations are fuel for the campaign. That's how we get the message out. You can have an amazing vehicle in the garage, a Ferrari, fill in the blank, whatever your favorite vehicle is. But if it does not have gas in the gas tank, it does not leave. And so we need fuel to fund our campaign. It's ammunition to help us put lead on target. Help us to do that. Please jump onto ScottyMooreForCongress.com, Scotty with a Y. Tell your friends, and let's take back the House, fire Pelosi, and save America.
Scotty, I'm proud to endorse you, and Red Tsunami, my friend. Take care.
Yes, sir. God bless you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye. Scotty Moore.